What's up, y'all? It's your girl Cornelia back with another episode of Black News, a podcast where we break down current events, hot topics, and local stories involving Black people. Now let's get into it. Last week, y'all, when I was talking about Tyler Perry, I was talking about the movies, okay? I wasn't talking about the allegations. Okay, I wasn't talking about the allegations. I was talking about when I was talking about last week how I understand where the brother was coming from. I was talking about in regards to making the type of movies he making his target audience. I was not talking about the allegations. Literally, the day after I recorded my podcast episode and when I was editing, some allegations dropped. Okay. Allegedly. All of this is allegedly. And when like I said, I was talking about the movies. Okay. I ain't know nothing about the allegations. Okay. Let me read y'all what's going on because it's going down basement. Okay. I'm going to rereading it. Y'all know last week, we was laughing and y'all laughed at me and I laughed at myself about my reading. And I be talking about how people can't read and karma done came back and it got me. Okay. I was on here sounding like, and I be sounding like I can't read. Hey, karma is come for me. Okay. It's going to come for all of us. I just want y'all to know firsthand. Okay. Feel the wrath of the Jabari firsthand. I want y'all to know that firsthand. The karma came from me because when I was reading, I sounded like I was a part of the 54%. So I'm going to read this and y'all just pray for me. Okay. But these are in regards to the allegations. I'm saying allegedly because ain't nobody about to come get me. Okay. Y'all not about to come get me. Also, I'm getting a message that my audio is too high. Y'all, is my microphone too high? We'll see. Am I overexposed? I don't know. Pray for me. Okay. So this is what it says. Filmmaker and actor Tyler Perry was hit with a $260 million sexual assault and harassment lawsuit on June 13th. Perry, the man behind popular franchises Madea, so on, is being sued by actor Derek Dixon. The two first met when Dixon worked at the opening party for the Tyler Perry Studios. In the lawsuit, Dixon alleges that Perry encouraged him to try his hand at acting, offering him TV roles in Ruthless and later The Oval. Dixon accepted the jobs, but is alleging that during his employment, Perry sexually harassed him, groped him, and then retaliated against him when he did not reciprocate Perry's unwanted advances, according to the complaint. Now I'm going to go down and read a little more. Again, this is an article I'm reading from Vulture. One of the only people who don't be having stuff behind the paywall. Y'all know how I feel about the paywall. But it says, what are some of the allegations made by Dixon? Dixon alleges that on one occasion, he was urged to stay the night at Perry's house after he had too much to drink. Without pajamas, Dixon said he went to sleep in his underwear. That night, he alleges that Perry snuck into his bed and started rubbing his body around Dixon's inner thigh. Dixon said he immediately jumped out of bed, and Perry said he wasn't sexual. No, he told Perry that he wasn't sexual and alleges that Perry told him to turn around so he can see him naked in his underwear. In another instance, at Perry's house, Dixon alleges that Perry encouraged him to try a weight monitor in the guest's bedroom, but he needed to undress for it to work. After Dixon was undressed, he alleges Perry pulled his underwear down and sexually groped his buttocks and told him to relax and just to let it happen, according to the complaint. Dixon claimed he diffused the situation by telling Perry he couldn't do anything sexual because he was hungry. When Perry left to order food, Dixon claims he locked himself in the bathroom. He also alleges that Perry repeatedly talked to him about sex and asked him about his sexual preferences. He claims he worked with the constant fear of losing his job if he did not engage with and endure Perry's sexual harassment, according to the complaint. There are also text messages. Okay. I saw some of the text messages. One that says, Perry allegedly stated, "What's it going to take for you to have guiltless sex? Have y'all found that yet in therapy when Dixon told him that he wasn't into sex, Perry allegedly texted him? I would hope that you would let someone hold you and make love to you. You're missing the best years of your life, my friend. Trust me. I hope you get past the block in your mind soon. And then Perry allegedly also texts, I haven't been touched in months. Now, there's more and more, and I'm not gonna read no more. I'm not gonna read no more. That was enough. But there's a couple things. For people who are wondering, it sounds like, and I believe I read that that Dixon filed a complaint with the EEOC, workplace harassment. EEOC, um, when something happens to you in the workplace, you can go to the EEOC. So it sounds like he did that. I don't know what happened with that. Apparently, or sounds like, or I'm assuming it didn't make it very far. There was no internal investigation at the company, at least from what the public knows, because we're now here. So for people who are like, why he didn't say nothing? I mean, if your boss allegedly is harassing you, you file a complaint. If you don't feel like you can go to HR, or if the organization does not have HR, then that is a next step that you can take. So if he did do that, whether this is true or not, allegations or not, that was, from my opinion, when it comes to the workplace, that was the next step that you would take. Now, $260 million is a lot of cash, okay? I can't say whether he going to get that amount or whether he's going to win or not, but that's a big chunk of money. But Tyler Perry's a billionaire. But, I don't I I'm going to give y'all one of my immediate takes, cuz when I saw some of the text messages before I read the article, the initial messages that were released gave me the impression it wasn't, at the time, didn't show anything that was, or talk about anything that was, um, inappropriate in like the physical, right? No, I didn't read the groping part yet, the butt. I didn't read that. The original text messages first made me think that we've been hearing rumors, allegedly. I'm just gonna keep saying allegedly because ain't nobody about to get me. We've been hearing rumors about the sexuality of people in Hollywood for many years. I don't know nobody who has not either been looped in, whether they started the conversation or not, unwanting, unwillingly been adjacent to, been around a conversation about people in Hollywood who are not straight, whether they're gay, bisexual, whatever, fluid, who knows, whatever. So when I read the text messages, I was not shocked. Well, first I was like, are these real? Because yo, AI, am I the only one that's scared about AI? Not scared that I can't identify it, because so far I'm doing a pretty good job, but scared that a lot of people can't identify AI and how advanced it's getting and how people will be easily manipulated out here. AI is scary. So when I first saw text messages, I was like, oh damn, is this real? Okay, is this real? But then I was like, if it is, I mean, people been having these rumors for a while. So I was not shocked about the first set of text messages because it just sounded like a horny old man. Okay. That's what it sounded like, allegedly. But once I read the article, then of course we started to get more information. But let me say this, and I'm not going to call nobody by name or directly point at anyone when I make this statement. I'm just going to speak generally, just by having lived life and seen others live their lives and seen how things play out, whether it's in the public or the private, whether you're a celebrity or just a person, a regular person. I find that some people tend to get themselves in trouble when they spend the majority of their time hiding who they really are. I have learned or noticed or seen people experience a lot of challenges and get themselves into trouble or just uncomfortable situations when they are not living within their true identity. And I'm not saying that people doing bad things should be equated to not being your full self, but I'm saying, to me, there are challenges that come with having to hide yourself. Challenges that can come in many different ways. Even if you take it down to just from a health perspective, carrying stress, anxiety, secrets can hinder the body. I'm a true believer in that. Secrets make you sick. And if secrets make you sick in the body, they probably can make you sick in the mind. Again, I'm not saying that in relation to this, but I'm just speaking in general because there is another person who has been all over the news for the last couple weeks, where it could be claimed or said that if that person could be their full self, we may not be where we are right now. And I don't know if that applies to this case, but it's in 2025. I feel it's a shame if that people still feel like they aren't able to identify as who they are. And I'm just saying, playing with this one. If people are gay or lesbian or bisexual, it's a damn shame for people to still feel like they got to be in the closet. Now, that may not apply. I have met people who don't feel the need to like come out or to make a public statement or to be loud about their sexuality. I don't have a problem with that. My problem is people be on the down low. Like if you be lying to women and men and you on down low, like that's the problem. But also people still be struggling. So, but I'm not saying that from the perspective of if you are lesbian or gay or bisexual, you got to put a video on social media and say, "Hi everyone, I am now gay." Like you don't have to do that. But I want people to break free from the shackles of feeling like they can't be themselves because of fear of someone else's reaction to their lives. Because at the end of the day, don't nobody give a shit. At the end of the day, you got to live with you and you got to look at yourself in the mirror. So if people are doing these things and putting themselves in these dangerous or sticky situations and getting caught up in this because they might be sexually frustrated or they might feel like they got to be so secretive that they trying to just be sneaky and trying to get just whatever, you ain't got to do that, friend. You ain't got to do that, friend. And again, that could totally apply to this or not. That's just some life advice. But and when it comes to this situation, we definitely gonna see this play out. It could either play out and go all the way to court. It can quietly disappear with a payoff or settle out of court. Who knows? I believe Tyler Perry made a statement. I could not find the statement, but I think he just gonna fight it, and whatever happens, happens. But y'all, we'll see, honey. This ain't gonna go away no time soon because it's $260 million. That's a lot of paper. But let me know what y'all think about it. Okay. Yeah, I'm interested to hear y'all thoughts. I think all we can do ain't predictions out the window. We just gotta just ride the wave and see what happens. But y'all let me know what you think. You can find me at Canelia on social media. We celebrated Juneteenth last week. Or whenever you listen to this, y'all know when Juneteenth is, June 19th. Every year it's the celebration of the emancipation of all enslaved people in the United States. Because, in case you don't know, 2+ years after the Civil War and after the Emancipation Proclamation was read, enslaved people in Texas were finally notified about no longer being in bondage. So Juneteenth, which was made a federal holiday 2021, the Biden administration is a celebration that acknowledges that It has always been celebrated in Texas. I'm from the Midwest. I've known about Juneteenth, but I have never seen people celebrate it en masse in other regions that weren't the American South. So now with the rec- y'all, now with people recognizing this, there are now Juneteenth celebrations all across the country and the world for that matter, which I love. I don't necessarily love it being like like whitewashed. I don't like that part of it, but I love that people are having to learn about it. But with that in mind, a video went viral on social media, and it was coming from a situation that happened in Wilson, North Carolina. Apparently, at a place called Synergy Auto Care, the owner or the employees took it among upon themselves to post on Facebook a message and a video that talked about what happened in the store. First mistake. What had happened was a customer, a black woman was in the shop. This is according to the video that we all saw because they posted it, like whatever. A white customer asked why the banks were closed on the federal holiday on Juneteenth. And one of the employees answered something like Juneteenth, a new holiday they added a few years ago. That employee's response, and I'm reading from an article, that employee's response triggered a joking reaction from the customer who sarcastically said, okie dokie. Another employee chimed in saying, I know, right? Suggesting that Juneteenth was not an important holiday. A discussion prompted, and the black woman spoke out visibly upset because if you watch the video, they were joking and saying something like, when she left, they're like, oh, it must be about reparations. But before that comment, the lady got up, the black woman said, give me my fucking truck. She said, pull my truck around. Pull my truck around front and give me my keys. I don't want nothing from here. Give me my truck. She walked out, got in her truck, and left. Now, that is how we should be handling these things. Yes, each situation is different, and sometimes you got to cuss people out. But in this particular case, you will not be disrespecting black people and still expect to get my business and my money. I cannot spend money at this establishment. After she walked out, that's when the employees took offense and started talking crazy, like, wow, yeah, yeah. Now, why they posted that on Facebook, who knows? But it does tell me and everyone that they were completely delusional about what happened. But they quickly found out. Once they did, it swept Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, with people leaving comments on all of their pages. They got the reviews on Google and Yelp down at 1.1 stars. The shop owners were deleting comments. People were calling and making reservations to get their trucks and their cars worked on and were pranking them. One lady was on there talking about she made reservation under June, and the last name was Teenth. Like, I'm talking about, people was tearing them up to the point where they took the video down, took the post down, and ended up on the news talking a whole bunch of nothing about how they don't, it was just a misunderstanding. The employees didn't know, and it's just, we just didn't. It's not that. It's not like that. Which, all of this tells us what we already knew. Racism is expensive. It is very expensive. Racism really costs a lot. It can cost you money, your health, your finances, your livelihood, your relationships, your job, your family, your friends, all of your belongings. It can cost you damn near everything. And what we've learned over history in America and beyond, some people are just willing to pay the price. Some people do not care that they're going to suffer. Some people do not care. They could lose it all as long as they got to do something and be or say something racist. For some people, that's just good enough. I'm going to give my favorite example, and it might be, it's adjacent, okay? Not completely connected to Synergy Auto Care, but when I said this, y'all gonna understand what I'm saying. Once again, because I say this all the time, it went viral. The majority of the people who fought in the Confederate Army during the Civil War were too poor to even own slaves. But they were willing to die for something that they couldn't even financially benefit from. Just being in the proximity of another group being in bondage was enough for them to lay their lives on the line. Now, some people chimed in with that. They were forced. They had no choice if they didn't join the army. They would have been on the line. They had no choice. Yeah, but some of them made the choice. That's the point. And in today's society, we still have people who are against things like universal health care, against reparations for Black people. They are against raising the minimum wage. They're against all of these things because they don't want Black people and people of color to have anything. So they will literally sacrifice themselves for this. Now, how that relates to Synergy Auto Care, in the moment, I don't think they weren't thinking about that, right? It was people in that shop goofing off, talking shit. I really don't think they saw the Black lady or noticed that she was in there. And once they did notice her and she walked out, instead of righting the wrong, they decided to continue to make a joke. And then after it happened, decided to post the video on Facebook as if they weren't doing anything wrong. They were willing to risk their own business and their own personal reputation in an attempt to try to make that Black woman look bad. And again, it's not the exact same correlation, but it's in the same family. Racism is very expensive. One thing that also shocked me about all this, and I won't say shocked because I'm not shocked. But one thing that I'm still trying to understand, some people are upset that there is a federal holiday that commemorates and celebrates slavery being over in the United States. I don't understand how anyone could be upset about that. Is it because those people want Black people to be back in bondage? Regardless of what side you're on, I don't understand how someone could be upset by that or not think that is a day worth celebrating. To me, that is baseline. If someone is upset about that, you a stone cold bigot. That's it. You don't get no more racist than that. So, with all that in mind, I haven't checked Synergy Auto Care's ratings on social media, but let me go right now. Let me go to Google Synergy Auto Care to see where they are, because you can be racist, but it's gonna cost you. Oh, yeah. On Yelp, they are at a 1 star, 708 reviews. They even had to put up this is a pop-up on their profile. It says, unusual activity alert. This business recently received increased public attention, which often means people come to this page to post their views on the news rather than actual consumer experiences with the business. We've temporarily disabled the posting of content to this page as we work to investigate the content. Aha. Well, hey, right. Yeah. Somebody gave them 3 stars. 1 star. 1 star. She said, I do not personally experience the racism, but I watched the video this shop publicly posted and it was clear, blatant, and unacceptable. Another one. I went for an oil change today, but the staff working there looked at the calendar, jumped on the counter, and collectively shrieked, Juneteenth, Juneteenth, and started manically thrusting their pelvises towards the direction of the sub. It was weird. Y'all, what? That's a review. Another one. 1 star. I truly can't believe I have to write this in 2025, but here we are. The behavior I experienced at this auto care shop was blatantly racist and completely unacceptable. From the moment I walked in, was treated with clear disrespect and disregard, while other customers who didn't look like me were greeted with smiles and helpful attitudes. It's going on and on and on. Y'all, they tearing them up. They tearing them up. What do y'all think about this though? Okay. What do y'all think? Do y'all think when people cut up on social media or post videos or do something, do y'all think that it's right or wrong to then give them 1 star reviews and essentially tank their business online? What do we think about that? Okay, what do we think about that? On another note, they got their reviews on Google back up to 3.5 stars because again they were deleting stuff. But people still tearing them up. It's just 1 star after another. Here's one. Employees are not educated and professional enough to handle people from all walks of life and backgrounds. They made a black woman feel uncomfortable while they made jokes and didn't see the importance of the holiday, Juneteenth. Would never recommend this place to anyone. Mm-mm-mm. The disrespect to disrespect a holiday that you feel does not affect you when it is because your ancestors that we even have to make a holiday in the first place because of the atrocities they done to people that does not look like you, black and brown. Baby, they going in. Let me know what y'all think. I can go on and on, but I'm not. Hit me up. You can find me at Canelia on social media. In another effort to make everyone upset, there was a list released, Billboard, that had the 70th, the 75th, y'all, it was the 75 best R&B artists of all time. Staff picks. We don't know the staff. Okay, we don't know the staff. But in a salute to Black Music Month, they dropped this list of again the 75 best R&B artists of all time, and people were in a tizzy. People were in a tizzy. They were frustrated, rightfully so, and people are unclear because when you talk about rankings and R&B artists, what goes into this? And sign off, y'all hear some noise in the background now. There's fireworks going off in the community. They must have got they kit for 4th of July and they're warming up. But when we talk about the best, are we talking about vocals, performance, albums? What does that entail? Now, in the article, it says the staffers agreed on the following criteria: vocal prowess, body of work, career longevity, industry achievements, game changing influence, and enduring generational cultural impact. While some singers who have made the list are known for their lyrical skill, songwriting wasn't a major deciding factor in this instance. And singers best known for fronting groups versus their solo work were not included. So all kind of people on here. Tank, Music Soul Child, Anthony Hamilton, Ashanti, Fantasia. So they got Peebo Bryson, Rick James, Lauryn Hill, all on here. Okay, this list it's R&B now. But I'm gonna get to the top because that's what we here to see. Okay, top 10 according to Billboard. 10, Marvin Gaye. Now let me say this. However you feel, I Want You by Marvin Gaye is one of the best albums ever created. All genre, any genre. I will go to bat for that. I will debate anybody down. I'm not saying it is the best, but I Want You by Marvin Gaye is one of the best albums ever created. It's soulful, funky, it's groovy, it has instrumentals, Marvin coming through with the vocals. It's just a timeless piece of music. Okay. Marvin Gaye, number 10. Number 9, the artist that we do not discuss on here because he be peeing. Personally, I think there are some eliminating factors that should get you off of every list. I'm not going to go into that because for other reasons. I can't discuss a lot of this. I'm very surface level, but I think some people should not be on any list. If you disqualified, you disqualified. Hey, them the rules. Number 8, Mariah Carey at 8. Let's see who's the rest. 7 is Prince. Prince is number 7. Let's see who the rest. 6, James Brown. I cannot argue with James being in the top 10. I can't argue with any of these people that I just named except being in the top 10 because they are legendary. But I feel like James do be getting left out, and I'm glad to see him. 5, Whitney Houston. 4, Beyonce. 3, Michael Jackson. They got Michael Jackson as 3. Now, the question is Michael R&B or is Michael pop? Because one could say one part of his career is R&B and then the other part is pop. He can do both and he is both. But when we say Michael, they say the king of pop is Michael R&B. He's number 3 on according to this list. 2 is Aretha Franklin, Queen of Soul. And 1 is Stevie Wonder, which I will not debate. Stevie Wonder has the body of work. He has the musical acumen, the longevity, the legendary status to solidify him at number 1. If you put Stevie on anybody's list at number 1, I don't think anybody could debate that. You could try, and you could, there's some people who could be stacking up against him, but I don't think anybody would be mad at Stevie Wonder ever being number 1 on the list. But this whole list can be debated. Okay? It can. And I'm not going to, hey, I said what I said. But let me know your thoughts about it. And also, let's just, again, make it known. People put these lists out because they know they're going to start conversations. People going to be frustrated and fussing. And that is the point. To drive conversation and to get clicks and to keep the momentum going on all social platforms. Keep the conversation going. They did a good job with that. Okay, accomplishing that. But let me know, who is your number 1, top 10, top 5 R&B, greatest R&B singers of all time? Okay, let me know your thoughts. You can find me at Canelia on social media. Now, I don't know if this is Black news per se, but I feel like as a Black person, it's going to affect us. Red Lobster, the CEO, the Black CEO, launched a commercial. They did an announcement. They said Red Lobster going to have seafood boils, sangria floats. Like they're going to have the sangria now. And they're going to have like a happy hour appetizer, like a little menu, appetizers and stuff. Y'all, as someone who grew up going down to the Red Lobster, y'all know I've talked about this on Black News a few times. Going to Red Lobster as a kid was a special occasion for us. Birthday, you want to go to Red Lobster? Congrats, you did good in school. Let's hit up Red Lobster. You somebody did after church, Red Lobster. Okay, that's fine dining. Okay, them some good eats. It tastes a little different now depending on restaurant to restaurant, but whenever I go back home, I say, hey, I did my foot in Red Lobster and it still be busting. I ain't gonna even hold you. Some be a little salty. I went to a Red Lobster out here, the one in Inglewood. The food was too salty. They was back in the kitchen. They was doing someone that was cooking the food. It was too salty, but I ain't even gonna hold you. Last time I went to Red Lobster, it was still busting. I don't care if the seafood was frozen. Okay, they gotta get it. They gotta ship it across country. You gotta freeze it, baby. Wait, they ain't on the water. But with this announcement, I feel like Red Lobster somebody put the word out. They back up. I feel like the streets about to be back up with this Red Lobster new additions. The seafood boil alone. If you are not a seafood fan, you ain't gonna really relate to this. And if you are not in major cities, I'm not sure if the seafood boil has really hit where you hitting. Because, honestly, I hadn't really heard of the seafood boil until I got to like LA or been in like New York, where that's a thing. There's restaurants dedicated to seafood boil. And if you don't know what it is, it's when they put all the seafood in the bag, the potatoes, corn, you can add additional things to the bag, even a boiled egg. You get to choose from like a garlic butter, spicy, a mix, Cajun, all of this other stuff. And they give you the bag and you just go to town. They give you some plastic gloves and a bib and you be tearing it up. Okay. The bag gonna run you about 20 bucks, 20 some bucks. Okay. I don't think there is a restaurant. And now I don't live in Flint no more. I go back every now and then. But I don't think there's a restaurant in Flint proper that has seafood boils. So with this new addition, I'm excited because I feel like y'all gonna really like the seafood boil. Like y'all gonna listen, if they got the right the seasonings, baby, you get that seafood boil, you put them gloves on, you dip the cheddar bay biscuits, because they ain't take the cheddar bay biscuits off the menu. You take that cheddar bay biscuit and you dunk it into the seafood boil juice, into the garlic butter, or into the Cajun garlic butter mix, dunk it in there, boom, boom, hit the dunk 2 times, boom, boom. And then you take a bite out of the cheddar bay biscuit, bussin'. Babe, hey, I know some people be bougie and they can't do Red Lobster. And I don't really be doing chain restaurants. Not because for a bougie reason, but in a big city like LA, there's so many restaurants. You have to try other things. You can go to like a chain restaurant anywhere. You can't try some of these standalones. But I might have to drive over down to the Red Lobster and try it out and let y'all know what it's doing. Okay. I'ma drive past the dedicated restaurants that are for seafood boils. I'ma drive past Juicy Crab. Hey Juicy Crab, I see you. Wouldn't want to be you. I'ma go to Red Lobster. I might have to test it out. I might have to go down to the Red Lobster, get a seafood boil, get one of the sangrias. I don't really be drinking like that, but I might have to test it out and report back with what we doing. I even saw this man post on TikTok in the comments. He said he was a manager at one of the Red Lobsters. He got to sample the food and the drinks last week. He said they was busting. So, hey, I'm just saying, for Black people, the true Red Lobster OGs, we might have to see what's going on. If y'all willing to try it, let me know. Because Red Lobster for the seafood lover in you. I'm just here to report the news. Let me know though, and if I go, I will keep y'all updated because I do want to see what they talking about. And if you've already tried it, by the time you listen to this, please give me the update. Y'all know where to find me. I'm at Canelia on social media. On this week's episode of Black News, we talked about the lawsuit that was presented in regards to Tyler Perry being sued by a former employee of his. We also talked about people tanking Synergy Auto Care's reviews across all platforms due to a racist interaction that they posted on social media. We discussed Billboard ranking the 75 greatest R&B singers of all time, and also talked about the upgrades to the Red Lobster menu. Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts about all of these topics, some or none, and I'll check back with you guys next time. That's it for this week's episode of Black News, y'all. Thanks again for supporting the podcast by sharing, liking, subscribing, and rating 5 stars on your favorite podcast app. To find more information about me, you can check me out at Canelia on social media, as well as on my website, which is canelia.com. And as always, thanks for supporting, and I'll be back next week with new topics and a new episode.